Hi, Jimmy. My name is Margaret. I attended the family school from June of 96 to October 97. On the day after my 18th birthday, I walked out of that school. Okay? So it's a little introduction, but I'm way more interested in the statements you make that I'm about to show you.
Excuse me?
Jenny Joe in there is calling you out, says you know what happened at that school, and there's no way you didn't know.
Okay, who Danny Joe? Who is?
Joe.
Right now to call me out?
Now she's calling you out,
Where?
right in the chat.
Jenny Joe, I don't see her. Let me see.
She said you act inappropriate.
Yeah, okay. How did I ever act inappropriate? What is she talking about?
That comment is right. There's no way you didn't know about the abuse that went on at that school. Did you participate in table topics, Jimmy? I wonder, because if you did, most of those table topics were highly verbally abusive, where students would be degraded, and they were often highly sexual in nature and inappropriate to be having conversations like that with minors. You don't think that that's inappropriate? That's pretty inappropriate.
I told her take a link.
A couple of problems here, right? Your wife either doesn't know about what goes on in that school, like actually for real, but I don't think that's the case, right? So what would you do if they clicked the link and came up there, right? Because you're trying to make it appear to your audience that this is not factual. This is absolutely factual, okay? The school was abusive. You didn't report it. You are complicit. You see how that works?
Jenny Joe, I know exactly who you are, Jenny Joe. You emailed me many, many times. You used to be a big fan, Jenny Joe. Then you got involved with BBT. Now, you did not go to that school, Jenny Joe Crowley, okay?
I think that might be why people that used to support you don't support you anymore, because you legitimately attack them and will not engage in productive dialogue. I'm just saying. But because that was inappropriate, right? And I know that you may think that I'm new to this, but I'm not, okay? I'm not. What's going to that school have to do with saying that they're not okay with the abuse that went on there? I'm grateful to those people that got to it before we did, because they tried to make it known that he is a child abuser and a child abuser sympathizer.
Okay?
Oh yeah, but listen to this, Jenny Joe. Jenny Joe, let me tell you something, Jenny Joe. You know how old these kids are that are my Facebook friends? They're like 40 years old, okay? Snap that out of your head there. So you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You guys just jumping at conclusions, you know? It's like, you think I would communicate with a young student or something. Like I said, you should go check before you, and you should, you know. Yeah, and I don't do that, you know. I still don't chit-chat with female students. Once in a while they may ask for a recommendation. Back in the day, they used to ask for a recommendation because of how well they did in their classes or something. That's all. But they're all, guess what? They're all married. They got kids. They got businesses. That's what I talked to them about stuff. Yeah, today I was talking to one about business. But anyway.
So I'm failing to see how students being abused while you were a staff member has anything to do with the age that they are now, and or you having an open line of communication with them. And you do talk to female students, because I got a message from one yesterday.
You know, our family here. And, so, and I hope that, and also you're telling me about how I was at my job, teaching at the family, wherever. I'm not going to mention the school.
I see you were smart enough to not give the name away. Why? Because they could Google and see everything, right?
But you guys know, and you guys are saying that you guys are jumping to some stupid conclusions. And I think that I'm pretty sure that what you're saying I did, you can be held liable for that if I didn't. And if you had any brains in your freaking head, well, maybe you do. You think you do, but like you wouldn't be doing that. I mean, unless you have proof. There's no. I've never done anything like that. I have so many friends on Facebook. Go ahead and maybe find one who would say I did anything, which you wouldn't. I don't think you could. But if you did for a lie, there'd be other people saying, get the freak out of there. I was there when you were there. You full of crap.
But you did. But you did. So is that why you keep former students around? So that they could corroborate your whitewashing of how the entire situation played out?
You know, you little whiny baby, because that's why. And you get these kids who are spoiled and didn't want to be there, which, you know, they couldn't make it at their house, so they got sent there. We didn't ask for them. And you're gonna say some of them are gonna be like sore for being there, and they're not gonna get over it. They should. I wish they would and move on with their life. And they're gonna, but some of them, before I came there, there's some things that must have happened, because I hear about them now, but I did not hear about them when I was there. It's a school. I went there and talked.
Wait a second. We're spoiled brats that didn't want to be there, right? And you didn't ask for us, right? But let me ask you this. You just want us to move on, right? Have you taken accountability for any of your actions? I'm asking for a friend. Also, the person that you must be talking to in that chat, you guys have this idea on the internet, right? Slander, defamation. If it's truth, you don't have a leg to stand on, right? And you and I both know that it's truth, right? And you and I both know that even if you attempted, which I highly doubt you will, to do some type of legal shit here, you don't stand a chance. Why? Because you failed to report the abuse that you did know of, right? So just quit with that narrative. It's old, honestly. And you sound like the other staff. Some kids are just mad that they got sent there. No, not acceptable. You partook in abuse of children that were under your care that you were supposed to help and care for. Period. End of story. If that's not what you're going to say regarding this school, then you shouldn't be talking at all.
The way, just so that you guys know, the way I felt about the young ladies there, I felt like they were like God's gift, for one thing, you know. And you had to, and some of them had been hurt, and you had to, they had to let them know that some men will never hurt you. You know, some men, no matter what you do, you can flirt, you can do whatever the heck you want, but they're gonna like look over that, act like that's not going on, and they're gonna, you know, be a man and be a good guy, and you know, just treat you right like you should be. You shouldn't be coming there and getting hurt. And that was me. I did that when I was there. And
Come on. You're absolutely right. A lot of students that were at the family school, a lot of females that were at the family school did have trauma already when they came into your care, right? Y'all made it worse. I don't know if this is what you tell yourselves to excuse your behavior. Y'all made it worse. Teenagers that are struggling with dealing with some kind of certain kinds of trauma, right? They need love. They need guidance. They don't need to be torn down and never rebuilt. So stop it. That kind of narrative ain't gonna fucking fly at all. Because you are invalidating students that were traumatized at that school.
I still have so many of the students, or my Facebook friends, we still talk to this day, okay? And to just talk to some today. So you know, I'm not worried about that.
I will say it again, right? Plenty of us have relationships, Facebook, social media, friends with staff members, right? What does that mean? That doesn't mean that it didn't happen, right? Do you know what trauma bonds are, Jimmy? You ever hear of Stockholm Syndrome, Jimmy? Not from the sound of what you're saying, that's for sure.
But I think you guys should worry if you think, if you could be held liable for saying what you're saying to me, you know, and you're letting that go on, your chat and all that. I think that you should watch out, because, you know, just like back in the day, you know, DNA was, you know, DNA evidence, they didn't know anything about that, but now they're getting them guys. And it might be coming a time when you guys, the trail leads back to you. And I'm going to tell you what, if you did wrong and you have to pay the piper, I have no problems whatsoever with that. There's nothing like, oh, well, look at mommy Williams did to them. No, you did it to yourself. You know, if you get in trouble for anything that you're doing for this channel here, it's on you. You're doing it. You shouldn't be doing it.
And I'll say it again. The best defense in defamation and slander is the truth. Everything coming out of my mouth is factual, right? I don't know what DNA has to do with anything. And I think that you would be better served to understand what protected speech is, right, because that matters on the internet, right? First Amendment rights matter on the internet. And if you're on the internet, people are entitled to their opinion of you, right? Now, let's go from opinion to fact, shall we? You stole my childhood and caused such intense amounts of trauma that continue to haunt me as I enter my 35th. Are you really that removed from reality? Comment from Jimmy. Many of you know I had many fun and funny times with you guys. The best thing I ever did was spit in your face the day I walked away from that place and never looked back. I just banked my first million 20 years later. What the fuck are you doing? Your time is up and I'm coming for your comfort zone and your safety net. You're not walking out of this unscathed. You have no clue what's coming your way 20 years later, and here I am, motherfucker. Student's name. Remember my name. It's going to be the one that undoes you. Jimmy responds, I remember the name. I do not recall doing anything to anybody that would cause the animosity you are sending me now. Please give me something more so I can remember you. I do know we all see and experience things differently, and I do not want to downplay anything that may have happened, but I do not recall anyone spitting in my face. Just give me a situation that I should remember. I will take responsibility in any situation I was involved in. Student, that's the problem. You abused me as a child and can barely recall my name and the circumstances. I'll ensure I pass the sentiment on to the courts and show you how, much like the hearing of Paul Gia, do not understand the gravity of your situation. Jimmy's response, I am thinking you have mistaken me for someone else. The student responds, 8/28/07, laundry room. You grabbed me by the throat and told me I was nothing, repeatedly yelling, boy, at me. I spit in your face, minimum of 10 witnesses. I mistake you for no one. You have haunted my dreams for almost 20 years. You, Jimmy, are a known child abuser. You're going to be held accountable if it's all I have left. We don't forget. We don't forget the ones that abused us, right? What you don't get to do is not put it in writing so that he would have had proof, right? See, you think that we're all stupid. Some of us have gone on to live very professional lives, right? And you have no idea who became what. Think about that.